This is Gabriel Gonzalez for Cageside Press here with the PFL 2024 finalist, last year's champion, looking to go back-to-back, Impa Kasanganay, who takes on Dovlet on November 29th at the PFL World Championships. Impa, I want to start there because second trip to the finals, but I think not enough people are bringing this up. You have had a wild schedule the last 2 years. Last year,
So,
Challenger Series, full season, win it in the final. This year, have the PFL versus Bellator showcase, fight another full season, about to fight the final fight of the year again. I mean, look, I know a lot of fighters say, hey, I want to stay active, I want to do this and that. But at a certain point, how do you make sure that you are getting enough rest and time and all that to make sure you are still fighting at the optimal level after being this busy?
oh man, I have a great team around me. Right, I pray about it a lot. I get on my motorcycle and go for rides. I would say that's like the first for my recovery. But I have a great team around me who helps me, stay at the top and keep raising that stair. Not just staying at the top. Like I'm want to be better than I was yesterday, better than I was today. And for me, it's like my trainer Dieter, right? He's my head trainer. He told me where to go. Robbie Lawler. We have coaches here, Henry Hoof. We have people with Nick Lenz, right? Like I'm definitely guided by wise counsel. So how we how we how we monitor training, how we communicate is a huge reason why I'm able to be in the position that I'm in. Another fight, I'd fight more. I'd fight more in a year. Like I say, like 8 to 10 times, 12 times in a year would be awesome. I don't know how to fit that in a schedule. But I also understand too, like you have like little nicks and bruises and how do you manage those and still continue to get better? Whether it's mental reps, different techniques to get better, who I work with. But I'm very grateful that I'm healthy and God's he's made me as a person who needs to fight. So like I tell you, if I didn't fight, people are like this guy's insane and going crazy. So I'm loving it.
Uh, is it a very real thing that as you're more active, you do feel that comfort inside the cage? Because people talk about ring rust and there's something to be dialed in, and obviously competition at a certain point, that mental hurdle is a little different than the training room. Is that a real thing that when you get out to the cage, because you've been there so many times, your mind locks in just that much easier, that much faster out there?
I think to a degree, and I think it depends on the person. So for me, it's like I'm always there. Like I'd fight literally every weekend if I could. Like I love it. It's the being patient and preparing and doing everything in between that makes the 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 victories that much better, the challenges that much better, right? So for me, it's like, yeah, there is something to it, like continuously being in the cage and improving. A lot of people say you can improve. If you're in camp, you can improve this. I don't know. That's not true. Like I believe you can always get better. I think you can get better if you choose to get better. So for me, it's like as I as I fight continuously and consistently, I stay locked in, right? With discipline. I don't stay locked in with motivation because I feel it or whatever. I know this is the path that I'm called to be on, right? So when I do it, I watch my phone, I eat, I train, I do what I need to do, and I enjoy my life no matter. I still live my life. This is part of what I do. So I think ring rust could be a thing for some people to a degree. But I also think it's how you set up your training and how you communicate with your trainers. For me, it's when you love it, it's like you're a kid outside and you're just waiting for the lights to turn on before you go home. And you just know you're excited to do it again the next day. And that's what keeps it fresh and exciting for me. Think about it, I really haven't been doing it this long either. I've been training like 5, almost 6 total years, right? So the fact that I get to do this, like every single day is still very exciting and it helps make it fun. Yeah, like you can feel it sometimes. Well, I'm gonna rest at the end of the year. We always joke. I talked to Joanna, like I'm gonna rest at the end of the year, so we're gonna do whatever. Nah, let's add some more stuff to the schedule because like I'm just living my life and loving it. So of course, I think things get improved, and you want to be more organized, you want to be more focused, you want to be more things like that. But every single day is a day to refine, and I think that's what's been a very exciting thing to me.
Well, I'm sure Joanna is very happy to hear that wherever she is. To ask you a little bit about that, obviously you brought it up, the love of the game, obviously committed to it, getting to do what you want to do, getting to pursue your passion. Last year, obviously quite the Cinderella, in your case, Cinderfella story, breakthrough, win it, win the prize money. Second time around, you have to be very focused when you're getting in the cage with anybody, but I guess how would you describe it differently? Because you did get to change your life. You did win the money. You did get to make your mark. So how do you reframe it to get yourself back to that level mentally after having already done it once?
But I think that's what people mess up. It's trying to get back to where they were mentally. That's served me then. Ever since then, even from the time before I even stepped in the cage last year, the title fight, before the time I even stepped in the cage going, or walking out of the cage when they put the belt around my waist, it's always like, how do I improve and be better than I was before? If you want to be back to who you once were, you'll never get to where you want to go. Like, I don't want to be like, it's like an old relationship. You always go back to it. Like, you keep running into the same things, right? Like, my focus is to continuously refine. My focus is to continuously get better and to dominate. Like, that's not good enough, right? That's not like what I want to be. Dovlet Yagshimuradov is a much better opponent, but anybody, even if it was Josh again, whatever, like, you always have to continuously raise the standard because I'm not focused on them as a title fighter. I'm focused on me being the best version of myself, and that's beating myself every single day. I love when my trainer stays. He stays on me, like always continues to raise the standard. Like he doesn't let me slip, doesn't let me slide. And then I continuously say that for him and myself too. We push one another, we help one another. And that's what makes all this great, you know? So the person I was then bumped, and I choose for him to pale in comparison to who I am today and who I'm becoming. And that's outside in and outside the cage, relationship wise, faith wise, life wise, financial focus wise. Like there are many times where I've had failures for sure, and in life, in relationship, in conversations. And like, how do I make myself better so that when I step into a cage, it's a reflection of my standard? I think I heard this one says the results are a reflection of your standards, right? So for me, it's like we keep claiming these victories and the standards are great there, but how do I continuously improve? So that's my big thing.
Love to hear it. I do have a bit of a logistical question. This fight back in Saudi Arabia, obviously you've made that
Yeah.
trip to Florida before.
Mhm.
What did you take from your last trip to the Middle East in terms of the time change and the adjustment for everything that you're going to bring into this second experience this year?
I'm a little bit earlier, right? Recover differently, how I eat out there, the conversations and the time I just spent to myself. I love going for walks, right? And just, understand the time, the season of the year, the heat, everything, like every little detail that I can think of and my trainers and team can think of, we're going to put in implementation, take notes on it. And then when we go back up there again, how can we do it better? Just like I said earlier, like about consistent refinements, like, all right, leave earlier, have the right people around me, leave together, leave as a camp. And they not only have the right positive minds around us and we'll claim this victory. When I go out there this time, a little bit earlier, a few weeks earlier, settle in because I know we'll claim this victory.
Another question. Obviously, now at the end of the year, we've had a whole 12 months to see what the PFL Bellator acquisition merger was going to play out like.
Mm-hmm.
Very different from last year. Now that you're on the
Right.
other side of
Yeah.
it, how has it been? What did you like seeing in terms of the talent that was brought in, kind of the way the assets were divided across all the brands? How do you feel about it as one of the guys who's been in the PFL for a second now?
I'm being in the PFL for a second now. I'm grateful. They brought in better fighters for sure, right? They even brought the PFL champion from Europe, Jacob Nadeau, awesome fighter. Fought some exciting fights to the PFL. He's shown that the level can go. You see a guy like Gabriel Gonzalez, obviously he made some final, right? And I respect that. So they're raising the standards of what we've had and what we continue to have. And it's awesome for me being champion of force. I'm going to go victory. But it's like shows like that, how much better we are in the world sports. So it raises the PFL. They say a rising tide raises all ships. Um, Johnny Eblen fight obviously was a testimony to that. Francis versus Ngannou and all these different people started coming in because they started growing their organization. And one thing I really, really love about it is that we're becoming a organization that is taking over the market day by day. So I think that there are things that they can do better. I mean, I always see like, can you do the season again? How many new fighters would be there, or do you do the super fights here? But I think with the fact that they brought in Bellator, they brought in higher level people. They brought in people that are top fighters. You saw the Anthony, was it Fabian Edwards versus Johnny fight. You saw the Francis fight. You saw these other fights. You saw a lot of female fights. Pacheco versus Cyborg. Like it's really cool to see like in women's MMA and men's MMA how it's growing. And to be a part of that and to be able to lead from the lead from the front, I consider it an honor.
You touched on it. Have you thought a lot about what you might want in 2025 in terms of regular season? If they could give you maybe a more active schedule in like the super fights, the one-offs, have you thought a lot about that, or is that, someone else's problem for another day?
No, I always think about it ahead. I won't say it's somebody else's problem, but I think about what's ahead. I think about um like, okay, right of the season again, you fight the same people. Like, how do you build and show you yourself that you're better, build value for yourself? How do you build value with the organization? Will they bring new people in, right? Will they bring new blood in, or will it be, as I would say, man, two people I want to see next on a contract and a fight will be Johnny Eblin and Francis Ngannou. If it's not fun, I'm here to get better and keep myself. I'm in a great place. And the fight, it'll be awesome. Super fight series, very enticing. Listen to take a guy like Johnny Eblin out, take a guy like Francis Ngannou out. We keep doing it. So whether it means I have to fight, when I fight this fight for this victory, then I fight beginning of the year championships, the pay-per-view card. Then I'm fighting again at the end of 2025 or early 2026. Like, I'm grateful too, because all I'm gonna do is focus on is getting better. Listen.
Well, I'll leave you with this one. Obviously, you have a fresh face in the final in Dovlet Yagshimuradov. Talk to me about what he brings to the table as an opponent and just how you see this fight going.
Yeah, Dovlet Yagshimuradov, excellent fighter. Obviously has an awesome style for MMA. He's one of those people who's shown that he can come in this season, find a way to win. And, he's put himself in a solid position to be here. I think that he's coached very well. Obviously, coming from Turkmenistan, from USSR, they have a very good style. I think very good respect for martial arts. And also with the fact that you have him training at American Top Team, he's a lot of opponents and people that I fought and seeing tape. And they have excellent coaches from Mike Brown, a lot of mine. So I think that's what makes it great. I'm looking forward to this victory, like I said. And it's with all due respect to him in his camp.
Well, we have another Kill Cliff ATT battle. I'll leave you with this one.
Right.
You are taking a cowboy hat to Saudi, right?
Always.
Love to hear
Always.
it.
Thank you.
Impa, best of luck. Ladies and gentlemen, Impa Kasanganay against Dovlet Yagshimuradov, November 29th, PFL World Championships, live on ESPN Plus in the United States. You guys are not going to want to miss it.